This video captures our recent 25-day cruise trip from Florida to Alaska and docked at some of the cities in Central America. From passing through the famous Panama Canal to the following trail to get the astonishing view of the live volcano in Guatemala to marveling the amazing White Pass scenery, the memories are truly unforgettable. We also docked at LA, San Francisco, and Astoria, Oregon before arriving in Alaska. Our very first stop, as well as one of the key places for us, was Colon, Panama, the crossroads of the world. It is one of the greatest shortcuts in human history. Tomorrow, we'll not just cruise, but crossing continents, sailing through the legendary Panama Canal, where the Atlantic shakes hands with the Pacific. Before that, we will spend a day in the city. The Agua Clara is actually the expansion part of the original locks to allow bigger vessels through, and the obvious difference on the chamber gates can tell apart from the original chambers. Both the original and the expansion are being used 24/7, year-round. You've heard of the Panama Canal. You've seen the photos. But here at Agua Clara Locks, you feel it. The deep groan of steel, the rush of water, the sheer scale of human ambition. This isn't just an engineering feat, it's a living, breathing machine, shifting the flow of global trade every single day. Stories from captains cross this passage over 100 times, of ships so perfectly balanced they clear the walls with inches to spare. Every transit is a dance between precision and power. A guiding boat is positioned both in front of and behind each vessel to go through the locks. Locals sell all kinds of beautiful handmade arts and crafts in the markets. How relaxing. This little guy is resting high above the tree in the thick foliage. Panama City is a place of dual identities. The modern skyscrapers of the Panama City can be seen clearly from this breathtaking Amador Islands, which is a collection of man-made islands connected by a scenic causeway. Once part of the Panama Canal's construction, today it's a top spot for leisure dining and picture-perfect ocean views. The Panama City in distance. A short drive from Amador Islands brings us to Panama City, where modern skyscrapers meet rich colonial history. From the iconic skyline to the charming streets of Casco Viejo, this city is a blend of the past and the future. Finally, it is our turn to cross the canal from the Caribbean Sea. The first locks are the Gatun locks. The chamber is about 1,000 feet long, 106 feet wide, with a water depth of 42 feet. We will go through 3 locks here to gradually raise up. As soon as we are locked in, millions of gallons of fresh water will rush in, and just like that, we'll be sailing at a brand new altitude. Who needs mountains when you can just raise the ocean instead? This stretch of water is the infamous Culebra Cut, the narrowest segment where thousands of workers battled landslides, brutal heat, and relentless mosquitoes carving through solid rock and limestone. Now we are approaching the second locks, the Pedro Miguel locks. Over 25,000 people dedicated their lives to making this canal a reality. Today, we sail through their legacy, floating on the hard-fought dreams of engineers, laborers, and visionaries who refused to take the long way around. We are all set to leave the second locks. As we are leaving the channel, notice how little room on each side. We were told that each passing vessel will have a captain from the canal on board to ensure zero mistakes. And just like that, our journey is almost complete. Our third and final locks are Miraflores locks, where we're descending back to sea level, and ahead of us, the mighty Pacific Ocean, stretching endlessly into the horizon. These are the locomotives, also known as the mules, helping the vessels going through these locks. People are trying to cross the canal through the bridge on the gates at the last minute. By the way, do you have a guess on the cost of going through the Panama Canal for our cruise ship that carries about 2,000 plus passengers on board? According to our captain, the cost for our cruise ship is about $350,000. That's steep. It's incredible to think that in just a few hours we've traveled between two worlds. The Panama Canal isn't just a shortcut, it's proof that when humans dream big, even continents can't stand in their way. As we sail into the sunset, we leave behind the locks, the jungle, and the history, but we carry with us the stories, the wonder, and the absolute awe of having crossed from ocean to ocean. Our second stop is Punta Arenas, Costa Rica. Today, we're stepping into a world where history, culture, and nature blend seamlessly. We are about to experience the colonial-era church, the rhythms of traditional dance, handcrafted souvenirs, and tropical plantations. The Church of Esparza has stood for generations, a symbol of faith and resilience. Inside, the air is filled with quiet reverence, while outside, life moves to the rhythm of daily Costa Rican life. Every souvenir here tells a story, crafted by hand, inspired by Costa Rica's nature and traditions. Unlike factory-made trinkets, these pieces carry the heart of the artisans who create them. This is a place to slow down, to breathe deeply, to soak in the beauty that only nature can create. Guatemala, a land of fire, earth, and adventure. Today, we're trading ocean breezes for volcanic trails as we embark on a hike up one of the country's most legendary volcanoes, Pacaya. This isn't just a walk in the park, it's a journey through time, through nature's raw beauty, and into the heart of an active volcano. The first leg of the journey was easy, with gentle ascent in the forest. But just ahead, the landscape will begin to change, and so will the challenge. It's like stepping onto another planet. The ground beneath us is a canvas painted by fire, black volcanic rock, streaks of red iron, and golden sands shaped by past eruptions. Every step forward feels like walking through a geological time machine. After pushing through the climbing, the view of the Capaya summit and the 360 view of the surrounding mountains and the Puerto Quetzal city below us were worth every single step. In places like this, we didn't just see nature, we feel it, and that's something no photograph can truly capture. Going down was more challenging as the black volcanic sand was extremely loose. The downhill segment was fun, unique, and indeed unforgettable. Puerto Quetzal welcomed us with open arms, and Pacaya sent us home with a story we'll tell forever. Of course, you could rent a taxi for $30 and let the horse do the work, but then you miss the fun part. Welcome to Acapulco, Mexico, where history, glamour, and adrenaline collide. Once the playground of Hollywood's golden age, this legendary port is still brimming with beauty, culture, and adventure. From historic fortresses to breathtaking cliff diving, we are ready to take in. Acapulco isn't just about Hollywood glitz, it's also steeped in history. Welcome to the Fort of San Diego, a 17th century stronghold built to protect the city from pirates and invaders. This fortress stood as a guardian over one of the most important trade routes between Asia and the Americas. On our way to the Chapel of Peace. High above the hustle and bustle, we find a moment of peace. The sculpture of two right hands holding together symbolizes the love between two brothers who died of plane crash. Their father later built this chapel. Beyond a place of worship, this is a sanctuary of stillness, offering one of the most breathtaking views in all of Acapulco. Up here, time slows down. Whether you come for prayer, reflection, or just to take in the view, this is a place where your soul can breathe. La Quebrada is Acapulco's most legendary spectacle. For generations, the cliff divers of La Quebrada have risked everything, leaping from dizzying heights into the crashing waves in the narrow channel below. There's no safety net, no second chances, just pure skill, courage, and trust in the ocean's embrace. Before diving, the divers climb up the cliff without safety ropes, which is already quite a challenge by itself. Once all reach their position, the jump will start from the lower platforms first. Knowing the fact that the depth of the water below ranges from 16 to 19 feet, depending on the waves, so the timing is crucial for them to come up to the surface as there is not a lot of room. This isn't just a stunt, it's an art form, a tradition passed down through generations, and watching it live, it's nothing short of breathtaking. Now the last diver is ready to jump from the top platform, measured as 135 feet. By the way, if you are lucky enough to see the night performance, you can see them holding fire torches diving into the sea. Our tour guide said they even do blindfold divings on some occasions, which is beyond my imagination. Hotel Los Flamingos, a time capsule of old Hollywood glamour. Back in the 1950s, this was the ultimate hideaway for movie stars escaping the limelight. Imagine sipping cocktails with John Wayne, swapping stories with Errol Flynn, or watching the sunset with Marilyn Monroe. This wasn't just a hotel, it was Hollywood's best-kept secret. Even today, you can still feel the magic of those golden days. And with views like this, it's easy to see why the stars fell in love with Acapulco. Driving through town back to the port. The beaches here are known for their calm waters due to the natural geography and the sheltered nature of the bay, and all beaches are public here at Acapulco. From Hollywood hideaways to historic forts, from serene chapels to heart-stopping dives, Acapulco is a city that stays with you, its adventure, its beauty, its history wrapped in a golden sunset. After stopping at the port of LA, San Francisco, and Astoria, we finally arrived at our first stop in Alaska. Ketchikan is home to the world's largest collection of standing totem poles, and Saxman Totem Park is where their stories come to life. Each carving is a chapter in the rich traditions of the Tlingit people, tales of ancestors, nature, and spirits passed down for generations. These poles aren't just art, they're history, identity, and a living connection to Alaska's indigenous roots. This is the oldest totem pole here and ready to be repaired or replaced based on the park officer. Unfortunately, it is getting harder and harder to find artists who have the skills of making totems as older generations are passing while the younger generations are seeking jobs outside. Once Ketchikan's most notorious red light district, today Creek Street is a picture-perfect stroll through history. These buildings have seen it all, from gold prospectors and bootleggers to fishermen and fortune seekers. Now, it's home to quirky shops, local art, and some of the best views in town. Dolly's House Museum is one of the most infamous spots from Ketchikan's wilder days. Juneau, Alaska, America's most remote state capital, and a gateway to some of the wildest, most breathtaking landscapes on Earth. There are no roads leading in or out, just endless mountains, glaciers, and ocean. We are at the park to witness the majestic Mendenhall Glacier and Nugget Falls nearby. Few places in the world let you stand face to face with a living, breathing glacier. Mendenhall isn't just a frozen giant, it's constantly moving, shifting, and carving the land beneath it. The ice here is thousands of years old, and every shade of blue tells a story of time itself. Standing here, you can feel the pulse of Alaska's wild beauty, a reminder that nature is powerful, timeless, and always changing. Nugget Falls, a roaring waterfall crashing down near the glacier's edge. On a clear day, for the best view in town, you have to go up. The Mount Roberts Tramway lifts you high above Juneau, where the trails lead to sweeping vistas, alpine meadows, and maybe even a curious bald eagle or two. Skagway, Alaska, a town frozen in time, where the spirit of the Klondike Gold Rush still lingers in the crisp mountain air. From breathtaking train rides to wild landscapes and tales of fortune seekers, this is where history meets adventure. The White Pass Yukon Route Railway is one of the most scenic train rides in the world. Built in 1898 during the Klondike Gold Rush and completed in 1900, reached the White Horse, covering about 110 miles. This engineering marvel climbs nearly 3,000 feet in just 20 miles, winding through glaciers, gorges, and breathtaking mountain passes. This bridge was considered no longer safe since the steam-powered trains came out as it weighted more, and one section ended up collapsing in the recent years. Heavy snow still covered grounds above tree line. Imagine being a gold prospector in the late 1800s, battling these treacherous trails in search of riches. But while they faced snowstorms and exhaustion, today we get to sit back and soak in the views. US and the Canadian border is right ahead. Skagway was once the wildest town in Alaska, a place where dreamers, outlaws, and fortune seekers collided. And no place captures that spirit better than the Red Onion Saloon, once a rowdy brothel, now a lively bar and museum. Imagine an ancient giant, frozen in time yet constantly moving, alive beneath the surface. Hubbard Glacier is more than just ice. It's a 76-mile-long river of frozen power, slowly carving its way through the mountains, growing larger while most glaciers are receding. I wish that our cruise ship could bring us closer to the glacier, but we were behind schedule as we departed from Skagway hours late. We woke up to this incredible view on our final destination, Whittier, Alaska, a place like no other. A town of fewer than 300 people where almost everyone lives in a single building surrounded by some of the most jaw-dropping landscapes on Earth. Imagine living in a town where nearly everyone shares the same roof. Whittier's residents call Big Itch Towers home, a former military building turned into a self-sufficient mini-city. Everything from schools, shops, to courthouse, clinic, and police station is inside, making this one of the most unique communities in the world. Everything is still closed for the season here in Whittier, so we are heading directly to Anchorage via the 2.5-mile Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel, which is the only land route in and out of town. And it's no ordinary tunnel. It's the longest one-way tunnel in North America. You wait your turn, drive through a passage of solid rock. Here in Anchorage, seaplanes seem to be as common as cars in the lower 48. The Good Friday earthquake in 1964 completely changed the landscape of this once highly developed and populous part of Alaska. The earthquake park was built dedicated to this devastating event. Alaska Mint at downtown Anchorage. This is the remains of a fin whale by the coastal trail. We concluded our month-long memorable trip, and most definitely we will come back to Alaska again in the future for a road trip, as there is so much more to explore in this magnificent beauty. Thank you very much for viewing.